Two Brewers Yukon Single Malt Whiskey Release 11 Innovative. How good is it? Should you get one? Stay tuned for the Whiskey Whistle. Greetings, my whiskey curious friends. Mark here from Whiskey Whistle, your wise choice in independent whiskey and spirits reviews, bringing you Two Brewers Yukon Single Malt Whiskey Release 11 Innovative from Yukon Spirits, well, in the Yukon. Now, this is a unique one. They've used Munich malts. Let me just get that poured while I'm talking here. And by the way, this sample comes from Dave Gardner, courtesy of Dave Gardner, who works for the company, represents the company, I should say. Now, thank you very much for that. Let's get that poured. So what makes this unique? This is called their Innovative Release. I think that's enough for the review. And they have 4 different types of releases: classic, innovative, peated, and what's the last one? Special finishes. So 4 different categories, and they change it up all the time. Every batch is a bit different. So this is batch 11, and it's a single batch of a certain number of casks. I think this one is a release of 810 bottles, so not a very big release. And when I looked at the price points, I saw round about 90-95 Canadian. This is a Canadian whiskey. If you're in America or Europe and you want some of this, then you're going to have to figure out a way to do that. Anyway, you can contact the company for inquiries, twobrewers.com, and also Dave Gardner, his email address, I'll give that to you. That is dave@yukonbeer.com. This was originally a brewery. Now, it's not my first review of Two Brewers. In fact, I think it's my, 7th or so. I can't recall exactly which ones I've had. I think it's about 6 already. So that's number 7, I think. I have not had all of them. I wish I had, and I might. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, let's focus on this one. Now, Munich Malt, if you're not a brewer, and if you're not super into beer, you may not know what it is. So a Munich Malt, well, it's a type of malt that started in Germany. And I'll just tell you a little bit about it. I don't know very much, but just very briefly. Munich malts are a little bit darker. So they are, toasted to a certain point. And interestingly, they raise the temperature very, very slowly before it's finally kilned at, it says here, at 100 degrees Celsius. And what this does by that slow increase of temperature is it increases the fermentability. The diacetic content is increased so that you can get more saccharification, the conversion of carbohydrates into saccharides, sugars. And so it's good for volume of alcohol, ABV output, but it's also good for, it says, the flavors. It's more flavorful because of that, the way that it's prepared. The combination of long drying phase at low temperature and a high kiln-off temperature is essential to creating Munich malts. At lower temperatures, the malt dries and forms abundant amino acids and reducing sugars. At higher temperatures, the Maillard reactions, that is the browning of amino acids, I believe, are favored. The chemical changes that occur during the stewing kilning process, including the production of melanoidins, are essential to the nutty, malty, bready, toffee characteristics. So nutty, bready, toffee, malty, this type of rich flavor would be imparted into the beer. And hopefully, and I believe this is the case because I've already had a little taste in my last live. If you didn't catch that, you can check out the replay. Anyway, so when I tasted that, I noticed that it was very rich and heavy and quite a nice, rich flavor. So a little bit less on the fruit, a little bit more on the baked goods, toffee, these types of flavors. Anyway, So that's it about Munich Malt. So they've used Munich malts in the preparation of making this whiskey. Now it'd be really cool. This is a really cool idea. Since they are a brewery and a distillery, it'd be really cool if they offered a companion set. So let's say a bottle of whiskey or a half bottle of whiskey. So here's an idea: half bottle of whiskey with let's say six bottles of beer that use the same malting and fermentation process. Now, quite often, I mean, you need hops for beer. Unhopped beer, I think, would taste a little bit over sweet for most people. But anyway, it'd be an interesting idea to create a companion beer and whiskey. You're welcome. All right, so now on to the color. Oh yeah, we're going to check out the color of the whiskey. And unchill filtered and uncolored. Now it's pretty light. This is a lighter shade of amber, almost a lemony amber hue. Anyway, very, very nice to look at. And next we'll check out the legs. I can already see it's got nice legs. And I'm guessing that Munich Malt has something to do with it. Now, for some of the other innovative releases, they've done some very cool things. Guess I can probably tell you that really quick. Innovative. They have done a hopped edition. Yeah, I did that one. That's right. And they did a sour mash. Yeah, I think I did that one too. I think. Anyway, oh, let's look at that. I've done all the innovative so far, so that's cool. All right. Now, oh yeah, the legs. We're going to look at the legs. Okay, here we go. Oh, as I spilled some. So now I've got legs on the outside of the glass. That's not good. Have a nice scent on my sweater. Oh, did you check out my shirt, by the way? Cool, huh? Again, thanks a lot, Dave. I really appreciate that. He says it was packing material, so pretty awesome packing material. Here we go. Let's check out the legs of Release 11. Yep, definitely nice, well-shaped legs. I'm sure that's going to be a nice mouthfeel. By the way, it's 43% ABV, 86 proof. They have quite a lot of their releases are 43. Some of them are 46, and they've also done a cask strength. So they're definitely interested in upping the ante as far as ABV for Canada. Canada generally doesn't put out whiskey much more over 40%. Changes are afoot, however. Okay, let's check out the nose. Now, even though it definitely is very, very heady, I'm getting a little bit of citrusy notes. And what I notice about the distillery is that it has a very, very well-developed umami or savory note, in addition to the sweetness, the tartness, the bitterness, the astringency that whiskey offers. However, this one, it's a little bit more zesty than most, so that's really nice. And yeah, there's some really nice, rich, like slightly light coffee notes. Coffee or not burnt coffee, but that smell of roasting coffee is evident here, which is really cool. Oh yeah, and definitely some big malty notes. The more you stick your nose in there, the more it pays off in scent dividends. Like a coffee toffee with a hint of orange in there. Really, really luscious. Okay. Well, let's get on to the palate. Again, cheers to everybody at Two Brewers, and a special note to outgoing marketing director who was Jasmine Sangria, and a welcoming hello to Heather, who's taken over the post. And again, I think I disclosed that, right? This was sent to me by the company, so I really appreciate that. I have to disclose that. And I can't get it in Manitoba. I wouldn't be able to do this if I could. If I could, I would. But anyway, really gracious to the company. I feel very happy, very thrilled, very thankful that they would send that to me, time and time again. So that's the development of a great relationship. And at some point, I'm going to have one of the makers on the show. Hopefully, I hope he sort of hinted that that would be cool. That's Bob Baxter, one of the founders. And an interview should ensue at some point as well in the very near future. In fact, I'm overdue for the interview. Okay, onto the palate. Cheers again. Those chocolatey roasting coffee notes carry through in the palate. I still get that nice little bit of savoriness to it, and that really nicely balances out the sweetness. It's sweet, it is a bit savory, and then I guess you classify that as a bitter note, the roasting coffee, but it's a heavy, earthy, delicious note, isn't it? A very rich mouthfeel as well. Coats the mouth excellently. And I'll start by telling you the finish is exceptionally long. This might be one of the longer finishes for the company. And this would challenge 20-year-old Scotch whiskies for the length of finish. And this is no age statement. Now, we know the distillery started in 2009. So I'm going to guess that this is probably something that was created in 2011, 2012. So that's putting that at around about possibly 7, possibly 8 years. And it's hard to say, I'd have to find out what their volume of production is. If you know what the volume of production is, then you can kind of guess as to how many batches they put out, and therefore how they're getting along with bumping up ages and getting it to the point where they like it. And tell you what, every release I've had I've enjoyed. And even though they may be, let's say, a little bit younger than 10 or 12 years old, they really hold their own with 10 and 12-year-old single malts from Scotland or from Japan. You name it, wherever they've got, 10-year-old single malts, this is definitely a match. It's very unique. I'm loving that roasted coffee toffee note. Fruit wise, citrus, yeah, still a little bit of citrus there. Roasted apples. Slightly savory fruit would be something like maybe like a papaya. beautiful. Now let's add a little bit of water. We'll give that a quick taste with water. Then we'll carry on to the WhiskyWhistle Whiskey Score. Then we'll wrap it up and get into the next one for the next review. All right, that should be good. Wow, isn't that nice? It gets a little bit spicier. Beautiful nose. It's rich, it's full. A little bit more of that roasted coffee note. A little bit less orange. For spices, some cinnamon, definitely some nutmeg. I should have asked about the casking. They tend to use bourbon, ex-bourbon cask, but they use all kinds of casks. Last year, their gold medal winning Canadian best Canadian single malt was release number 9, which was done in a Spanish sherry cask. And that was amazing. And this is also very, very nice. I love this. The Palate with water adds a little bit of pepper, hint of ginger, more like a pickled ginger. Again, that savoriness still there. That rich roasted coffee note, well formed here, even with water. It's definitely up there for me. Well, let's get on to the WhiskyWhistle Whiskey Score for Release 11 Innovative from Two Brewers Yukon Single Malt Whiskey. I really like this. Well, after a couple of tastings and thinking about its relationship to other Two Brewers, but also to the body of single malts from around the world, I'm going to give this a solid 89 out of 100. Yes, you heard right. 89 out of 100 is the WhiskyWhistle Whiskey Score for Two Brewers Release 11 Innovative. It's very innovative, and it's the quality that I expect from them. They have yet to drop the ball. Everything has been on point, and their game is strong. Loving it. And yeah, I got to get over there because, you know, I think that at some point in the very near future, very near future, if they can get some whiskey out, let's say to USA, and I know they're planning on that. Manitoba, I hope very soon. Manitoba has to change their, I don't know, they need to do something. I think they can probably get a special release for Manitoba. That would be really, really great. Let's hope. But get some to Europe. You know, maybe 1 year, one country or whatever. And I think down the road, Distiller of the Year will be in order for Two Brewers because it's just that great for Yukon Spirits. That's the name of the distilling company. Gorgeous stuff. Anyway, 89 out of 100, well deserved, and absolutely unbiased. I tasted this before I looked at the notes, and I talked about what I was tasting before I even knew exactly what Munich malts were. That was in that live stream just a couple days ago, so you can check that out there. Beautiful. Okay, well, stay tuned for the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to WhiskyWhistle. hit that notification bell so you're notified of all the future releases, the future Whiskey Whistles. And come into Patreon, become a patron. There are some cool things brewing there, distilling there for you, from me, for my patrons. And one of those will be a something to wear. So get in there if you want to get involved and help push this channel to its limits. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. I love you. Goodbye now. Thanks for watching Whiskey Whistle. Be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to give this video a like and leave a comment down below. Be sure to stay tuned next time to join me, the host of the show, Mark, as I explore more whiskeys with you. Take care now, and we'll see you next time. If you know